transitioning into something that I felt like typically is always a home run segment for us, a Wardlow segment.
Yeah.
This is one of the ones where I felt like I struggled a little bit with this. This was the first time in which I watched a Wardlow segment and I was like, all right, like, let's get this, like, let's move on. And it was weird for me to feel that way. Obviously, watching Wardlow decimate people is always a lot of fun. I mean, the dude's power is unmatched.
It's almost unfair at times too.
I love seeing what he's capable of. But I felt like this segment felt a little flat for me. And I think that the main reason why is they're dangling this carrot of Wardlow with the TNT title.
Big time.
And I don't think that they needed this this bridge from MJF to the TNT title. I don't think they needed this bridge.
Okay.
I think that they could have. Wardlow was so hot coming off that pay-per-view win over MJF. He was, I mean, dude, MJF put him over like nobody's business. I don't think that what they've done since has done anything to help elevate him, really. I mean, to me, it's great to watch the War Dog show off what he's capable of.
Unreal stuff.
But I think that they didn't need this bridge. I think that he could have easily transitioned into a program for the TNT title right away and skipped this. Now, in the big picture, it's 2 weeks, right? This is not like this long drawn out program, right? But I just feel like while I was watching this, I was like, can we just get to the main entree here? Can we get to Wardlow going toe to toe with Scorpio Sky? Let this program play out, right? I mean, there's enough stuff with Dan Lambert, Ethan Page, and Scorpio Sky where those guys could have carried a program with Wardlow where it felt like it meant something.
Right.
I guess they're trying to tie up some loose ends from the ramifications but the Mark Sterling stuff.
I think we would have been all fine if there was no tied up the loose ends on that. It was it was fun watching Wardlow have a godlike performance in the ring. I mean, when has anybody in any wrestling company gone against 20 people and just decimated them one by one and piles of bodies? So it's really putting him on another level. It's awesome to watch. But at the same time, think about this. What if they were going to go right into a program with the TNT title, but because of Sky's injury, they're kind of stretching it out, buying time, keeping Wardlow relevant, keeping him show that strength. So I'm thinking about on that side. So, like, yes, this may not be the place where the immediate direction we want to see Wardlow. We want to see him at the top and just keep climbing to the top.
Easy to forget that
we know Scorpio. It's no secret he is injured. And so I like that they're still keeping that feud alive as best as they can. After the match, what happened was worth everything that we saw. Like, you could have just had that promo and I would have been happy with it. Wardlow got some speaking time. He won over the fans with some of the local talents, and then he pissed off Dan Lambert and things like that. So, that was to me. I think that what they're doing is they're just buying a little bit more time for ultimate payoff Sky and Wardlow. So
that's a great point. I didn't even think about that. It's easy to forget that Scorpio is legitimately injured, and that makes sense. Buying time. For me, I would have been like, if I was booking it though, I would have just been like, Ethan Page could have played a similar role that Shawn Spears played.
Sure.
In his feud with MJF, and I'm an all ego fanboy, right? I love what that guy does.
Agree.
So I think that there could have been enough with American Top Team to just kind of antagonize Wardlow and build that story without going into this. Sure. That said, we did get to see Wardlow just absolutely manhandle 20 dudes, and like you said, he basically won a battle royal by himself. It was pretty impressive. So Wardlow is. I just want to make sure, like, for me, I've been wanting this breakout for 2 years now.
Oh yeah,
I
know.
Now that he finally broke away from MJF, and it feels like we're pushing all the chips in the middle of the table and going all in on this guy. I just want to make sure that we don't go off the tracks and he doesn't feel like he blends in on this show, because Wardlow should never blend in.
You're right.
This dude is very special, and I want to make sure that AEW recognizes, and I think that they do, recognizes how special he is. And I just don't want him to get bogged down in an unnecessary comedy gimmick, you know.
Right.
And honestly, the MJF versus Wardlow feud was the hottest thing going in pro wrestling.
You're absolutely right.
This entire year. So, you know, I just want to make sure that the trajectory continues to go up. I'm ready for Wardlow as the TNT champ, and I think that this is the thing. All that negativity aside, that I just went through, all that aside, let's be real, dude. Wardlow as TNT champion is exactly what the TNT championship needs right now.
You're right.
He is exactly what that title needs, for a title that has, being honest, really lost a lot of its luster. And with the All Atlantic Championship emerging on the scene now, the TNT title needs a little shine. It needs a little spit shine, right? It needs to be
turn that some bitch sideways, shine it up.
It really does, dude. It needs to get.
That's a great point.
Pushed back up and elevated, and a dominant run. Think about how important it felt when Miro was champ, when he was dominating people. A dominant run by the big man will put this title back where it belongs. And you know when it's going to come? We're there live in Grand Rapids at Battle of the Belts, baby. Let's do it, baby. I hope that happens. I would go.
We'll throw a Wardlow party if he is crowned TNT champ in Grand Rapids.
That's a great. I love it.
It's a good call. It gives you know, Scorpio Sky another month and a half of recovery time, and you build it for that month and a half, which I'm all for doing that. Yep. And you give him the championship, man. I mean, that's a good timing. But you know, Wardlow is our guy for sure. The old adage in pro wrestling is, you know, it's not the belt that makes the man, it's the man that makes the belt, right? If you try to put a belt on a guy to try to get him over, it's hit or miss. Right.
But if you have a guy who you know is the real deal and who can deliver week in and week out, like Wardlow can, you put that belt on him, and all of a sudden he's going to take that TNT championship to places that I think it hasn't been in a long, long time. And
imagine if he was the champ and he had all those those matches that he won that MJF put him in. You know, Will Morrissey, Lance Archer, you know, JD Drake, all those big guys as open challenges for the title, and how he just, you know, manhandle all of them. That would be such a, you know, convincing and amazing title run for it. So I mean, he's already done all that.
Runs. I think that he, you know, and this roster's deep enough, SPD, where like, you know, there are enough talents on this roster who can be legitimate threats. Yeah, but who can fall short to Wardlow. I don't want to just see Wardlow being the JD Drakes of the world anymore. Yeah, I want to see him. I mean, I want to see him go toe to toe with Ethan Page, with Scorpio Sky, with
Miro, with Samoa Joe,
with Phoenix, with Samoa Joe, with guys who are legit Penta. I want guys who are legit talents on this roster, and I want him to put them away. Yeah, and I want that to be a long run. I want it to be something where like Wardlow, and then eventually whoever beats, just like how Wardlow benefited from this with Max, right? When Wardlow beat Max, he was a made man.
You're right.
Eventually, whoever would beat and dethrone Wardlow then gets made. But I think that Wardlow needs to have one of these like epic runs that you don't see very often anymore. Typically, AEW reserves their dominant runs for the World Championship, right? Like these long epic runs. But I want Wardlow to have that kind of run with the TNT title. I think it would change the game. And then eventually, who knows? Maybe he has his eyes set on a returning CM Punk. But
I called him out last week, so that would be fun. That would be nice.